Congratulations, you just got a job teaching in Korea. What would students here warn you about before you got here? If you want to know, let's go. So we are here with Rachel and Jisoo. They're two seniors who are graduating from a Korean international school, and they're going to be giving advice to any incoming teacher who wants to teach in Korea. So they're going to give us 3 things that any teacher coming into Korea should know before they start teaching in an international school.
Yeah.
The first point we wanted to talk about was the lack of diversity in Korea in general.
That means there's like a lot of racism and xenophobia because Korea is such a homogenous country.
In student bodies like international schools like ours, because the student bodies also tend to be very homogenous, it's not really a very friendly environment for non-ethnic Koreans at times. That goes to our second point, which is that you should probably learn Korean if you want to teach at Korea.
I think that it's just a bigger hassle for you if you don't try to learn Korean. Like there are more barriers you have to overcome, I guess. So since we're graduating, I'll just be honest, like, because like kids talk about teachers and they'll usually talk about them in Korean while they're like 5 feet away. So if you want to know what they're talking about, then maybe you should learn that.
Yeah, and that's with like assignments and tests too. If you talk about a test in Korean, even during a test, then the teacher can't like tell what you're talking about. So kids will just kind of like in like chemistry, kids will talk about answers in Korean while they're taking the test.
So that
it's like, yeah. So it's like easy to cheat. Like
disclaimer, we never did that. That leads us to our final point, which is that kids here, because Korea and I'd say East Asia in general is it's hyper focused on academic success. So you'll find that the kids here will be very competitive to the extent that it can be very cutthroat and very toxic. So there are lots of like cheating scandals, plagiarism scandals.
Yeah, and I think sort of in the same vein, extracurricular help is very, very normalized here, almost to an abnormal extent. A lot of kids will, even if you assign them something from school, instead of asking a teacher for help, they'll just go to like a tutor. But for some extreme students, that leads to their work being very not authentic, as in it was 90% created with someone else's help. So it's better if you sort of take precautions against that.
Even if it's not cheating or getting like inauthentic help, there are things called 학원s in Korea, which basically they pre-learn material. So basically it's like there are kids who would have taken calculus at like a 학원 before they learn calculus at school. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that creates like a really bad environment where kids don't feel the need to focus in class anymore or use their resources at school because they've already learned everything outside of class and they have resources outside of class that they can use. And kids that may not have access to those extracurricular resources can feel very behind in that vein.
So overall, are you thinking it's mostly bad? Is there anything like you'd be like, hey, teacher, you're in luck?
I mean, I think Korea outside of school is very interesting. Like, I think our culture is really nice and we have great food.
And it's very convenient. Like public transportation is so well developed in Korea. You can really get around anywhere. It's not confusing. It's very clean. It's pretty cheap in my opinion. I mean, it's a great place to live, but if you haven't taught in Asia or in international schools before, and you've only taught in, like, say, American public schools, then this might be a bit of a maybe culture shock for you. I think it would be pretty different.
So while Jisoo and Rachel did talk about some legitimate concerns, teaching in Korea is probably going to be the best experience you have. I talk about it a great deal in this video as well. Thanks again. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.